In this video, we'll show you how to change the rear brake rotors and pads on your Ford Fusion. You can find them on CarParts.com via the link in the description. For safety reasons, we strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Ford Fusion safely. Open the brake fluid reservoir. Ask another person to press the brake pedal. Using a ratchet and a Torx T40 socket, loosen the two bolts holding the disc. The assistant must then release the brake pedal. Release the parking brake. Insert a flathead screwdriver into the opening of the brake caliper. Lift it off using the screwdriver as a lever by pulling it towards you. This will cause the piston to retract slightly so that the caliper can be removed more easily for the next steps. Using a pin punch and a hammer, remove the metal clip holding the parking brake cable to the brake caliper. You can also use pliers to help you. Disconnect the parking brake cable from the caliper. If necessary, pry with a crowbar to facilitate handling. Block the rotation of the guide pins with a 17mm wrench and unscrew the slide pins using a 13mm wrench. Finish unscrewing by hand. You can now remove the caliper. Place it on a raised element so as not to pull on the various cables. Remove the brake pads by prying them out with a flathead screwdriver. You can use a hammer to help you. Then, remove the anti-rattle clips. You need to check the sliding of the brake caliper slide pins and the condition of the caliper slide pin boots. If they look worn, you are advised to replace them with new ones. Using a ratchet and a long 13mm socket, unscrew the two holding bolts on the caliper mount. Depending on the state of the bolts on the caliper mount, it may be necessary to use a hammer to loosen them. Remove the caliper mount. Finish unscrewing the disc retaining bolts in order to remove it. Sometimes the disc may get stuck on the hub. If this happens, use a hammer to remove it. Finally, remove the disc. Clean the wheel hub with a wire brush, brake cleaner, and paper towels. You can order the discs and pads kit used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Before installing the new disc, it is vital to clean it using brake cleaner and paper towels to take off the storage paraffin. If your new disc is coated, you can place it directly onto the wheel hub. Put the new brake disc in place. Screw the disc retaining bolt back on until it makes contact. For great content, our best price, and fast shipping, download the CarParts.com app now. Take the caliper mount. In this case, we're replacing the caliper because the piston is extremely corroded and is not functioning properly. For more information, we recommend that you watch our video, How to Change the Rear Brake Calipers Ford Fusion. Reassemble the caliper mount by screwing first by hand, then with a ratchet and a 13mm socket to lock them in place. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Get hold of the anti-rattle clips supplied in the kit. Place the anti-rattle clips on the caliper mount. Grab the new pads and lightly coat the ends with copper grease to help them slide more easily. Insert the new pads into the caliper mount by sliding them in. Press the piston into the brake caliper. For this step, it is essential to have a brake caliper windback tool, which is a specific tool that allows you to press the piston into the caliper, but also makes it turn onto itself to reset the slack adjuster of your handbrake. This step is essential before installing the caliper. As the piston enters the brake caliper, brake fluid will flow back into the brake fluid reservoir. Depending on the original level of the reservoir, make sure that the liquid does not overflow. Put the brake caliper back in place and screw in the slide pins by hand at first. Screw them in using a 14mm wrench. You can use a 17mm wrench to prevent the bolts from rotating. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Put the parking brake cable back on the caliper. Lift it off using a small crowbar as a lever. Then put the retaining clip back in place. You can use a hammer to insert it properly. Ask another person to press the brake pedal. Finish tightening the disc retaining bolt with a torque wrench. Clean the disc with brake cleaner and a cloth to remove the grease from the new pads. You can now repeat the same process on the other side. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put your vehicle back on the ground before properly fixing the wheels in place. Don't forget to screw the brake fluid cap back on before starting the car. Attention! Before using your vehicle again, start your car and pump the brake pedal a few times to push the brake pads together again. Try to drive smoothly and avoid sudden braking for the first 30 miles or so to avoid glazing the new pads. Operation complete.